Hello, it's nice to have you back here on my channel. So, today we're going to be discussing three ways in which we can reduce the effect of child sexual abuse in our society today. But before we do that, let's go through some statistics on child sexual abuse worldwide and also in Nigeria. Now, according to UNICEF, 15% of girls and 8% of boys are being abused worldwide. Now, coming back to Nigeria, one out of every four girls and one out of every 10 boys are being abused before the age of 18. Child sexual abuse is an offense according to several sections in Chapter 21 of our Criminal Code in Nigeria. Also, child sexual abuse is punishable by life imprisonment according to the Child's Rights Act of 2003. Now, this lets us know the gravity of this act of child sexual abuse against children. Now, going back to our topic for today, which is three ways in which we can reduce child sexual abuse in our society. The first way of reducing child sexual abuse in our society is by what? Training our children, the children in elementary classes. We're talking about the primary school children and we're talking about the secondary school children. They need to receive training. They need to receive training in their classes, in their curriculums, in schools. They need training at home, not only in schools. The second way is by training for parents. Parents need to be trained on the effect of child sexual abuse, on the act itself, how to identify it, what to do, who to report to. These are certain trainings that parents need to go through. The third way of reducing child sexual abuse is by educating the society, educating the community, educating the public, for everyone to be aware that this act is prevalent and it is happening and all around us, as a matter of fact, and we should be on guard as a society to protect our children. Now, there is a program called the Safe Touch Program. It's a program that is run abroad in countries abroad, foreign countries, which should also be introduced into our country here in Nigeria. In our school system, in our curriculum, it could just take a period, like a period in their class timetables and all that, where children can be taught certain things that they must know, how to avoid, how to point out, and how to behave in situations like that, when situations like that arise. Now, the Safe Touch program describes to children what abuse is, what child abuse is, how to identify it. They also go as far as using puppets, puppets for illustration, age scenarios, like scenarios that are age regulated for children, where they can teach them body safety rules, parts of their bodies that are private, that cannot be touched. They will should teach them what safe adults are and what unsafe adults are. They teach them what safe environments are and unsafe environments. They teach them who to confide in and how to identify abuse when it's happening or when it's about to happen. So these are the things that are taught in a Safe Touch program. Now, I'd like to bring out some various points, not maybe 4 or 5 points that children ought to know. So, as a parent, if you're watching me, there are 4 or 5 points that your child should know. Number one, your child should know who a safe adult is. A safe adult is one whom they can feel comfortable around and who they can always run to in case there is an abuse that is about to go on or is going on. Now, your child should know who a safe adult is and who an unsafe adult is. Your child should know not to keep quiet in case of any form of abuse. Your child should know not to keep quiet. Very, very important. Meaning that your children should be able to confide in you without the fear of being punished, being chastised, or without the fear of being rebuffed, without listening to. Your child should know that they should reject any pressure from any adult or fellow children to participate in sexual activities. Your child should be able to reject any pressure that comes from any adult or any child of their same age to participate in sexual activities. Your child should know not to be quiet. I think I've mentioned that already. Your child should know that any adult that tells them to keep secrets from their parents or from their close friends, that is a red flag. That is a red flag. And even a child that tells them to keep secrets as their fellow friends in class or anywhere, that tells them to keep secrets, that's a red flag. That's an unsafe adult right there, or an unsafe child to be friendly with. Another thing is every child should know that it is not their fault. If a child has been abused, that child should know that it is not their fault. It is the responsibility of the parents or the caregiver to make it known to that child that whatever has happened to you is not your fault. It is the fault of the perpetrator. It is the fault of the adult and not the child. The reason why this is very important is because the guilt itself of the very act destroys the child. Because once the child begins to think that it is their fault that they were abused, the hope of healing is far-fetched. It also gives them inferiority complex that might affect their adulthood, and they might never recover from it. Such things go into the issues of psychology. It starts to affect them psychologically. They start to have split personalities. They start to, so many things. It is a big deal. But I know that as I continue to release videos and do more research, we're going to talk more and more and more about the effects, the mental and psychological effects of child sexual abuse. So these are some of the things that a child should know. A child should know not to stay quiet. A child should know a safe adult and an unsafe adult. A child should know a safe environment and an unsafe environment. A child should know who to confide in. Very important. An adult that they can confide in case this happens. A child should have that. And the child should also know that they are not guilty. They are not guilty. It is not their fault. It is the fault of the perpetrator. Thank you very much for staying with me to the end of this video. I hope you've learned one or two things that you can implement in your society or in your home as a parent with your children. Thank you very much. Until we meet again, be nice to yourself.